Hey everyone, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Monday, everyone. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. This is our daily updates here on progress in our little VW shop. So lots going on around here, guys. So let me go ahead and get started. So on the Beetle here that we lovingly call the tennis ball for obvious reasons, Rafa started working on its engine tin and stuff like that today. So the long block for this motor, I think, is almost done, getting very close anyway. And so, yeah, everything else for the motor was in basically plastic crates inside of our container over there. So time to dig all that stuff out. So Rafa went ahead today and pulled out all the cylinder tins, fan shroud, carburetor, distributor, you name it, it came out. Again, with the exception of the long block itself. And he spent a good portion of the day doing essentially like metal and body work on the engine tin. So, there's usually some random dents and dings on it. This engine tin was pretty clean overall, but, again, it did have some dents and dings. It had some broken welds and stuff like that. So pretty much just going through all the engine tin with a fine-tooth comb, getting it all back to, essentially like as nice as factory as far as not being dented or, busted or anything. And then it will go to powder coating and be made to look amazing. So yeah, lots of time on that. And then again, I think I mentioned he also started disassembling like the carburetor, and I'm not sure if he pulled the distributor apart, but all those sort of ancillary things that go on the motor, pulled those apart and started preparing things for zinc plating. So everything will be zinc plated that should be zinc plated, and the motor will look as good or probably better than new when we're done with it. So yeah, it's kind of a long process between powder coating, ceramic coating, zinc plating, and then restoring things like carburetors and so on and so on. So anyway, that process officially started today. So lots of work there. The other thing Rafa did was he disassembled the vent wings for this car. So this car, as you guys know, if you watch the channel, has all blacked out trim, and that includes the vent wings themselves. So went ahead and pulled these all apart today, and so these will go out and get blasted and then powder coated in like a semi-gloss black, and then of course reassembled. So that's another thing they worked on today, is disassembling these fully so they can go out for powder coating. And I think that was kind of it. Just getting a bunch of stuff ready for that process. We did manage to find the correct window seals for this car. And so this car did not have any trim around the windows like this. It had, but they weren't what we think of as like cowlick rubber, where they're just, kind of smooth. They actually, and I don't have any, we tossed them all, but they almost have like a little, I don't know what you want to call it, like a little, not a rib, but like a little groove in them almost. It's just purely decorative, where the trim would normally go. And so those are actually available because they were pretty widely used on Mexican Beetles. And so we've got a contact who's getting us like the window seals and stuff that are going to look correct and look exactly like what this car came from VW of Mexico. So nice little touch there. Again, cowlick rubber would look totally wrong because they're very fat and rounded. And again, these are supposed to have like almost like a little groove or a little feature on them that kind of runs around to make them look a little more, I don't know, decorative, for lack of a better word. But again, without the trim in them. So yeah, we've got those window seals coming. The only thing that we weren't able to get from VW Mexico was the already blacked out vent wing assemblies, and so that's why we're pulling his apart to powder coat. I think we actually even found a blacked out antenna that's again from Volkswagen Mexico. And I think we also found a blacked out mirror. So all that blacked out stuff was pretty common on Mexican Beetles. So a lot of that's coming from down there. So that pretty much was Mr. Rafa's day. My day, I started off with this car, which is now super tightly squeezed in here. But what I did today, not a lot, but one of the things that I did was I went ahead and reinstalled her door panels. I had previously gone and rebuilt the doors, put all new seals in these, and got them working nicely. And before, one of the main things she brought the car in for, excuse me, was her scrapers were like totally toast and all the seals were bad. And so when she would try and wash her car, water would just get inside. So all this is brand new now. And so of course the last step in that process is to put the, put the door panels back on. I had previously put on the plastic moisture barrier and stuff like that. So literally just going and putting on door panels, putting the window winders back on, and the trim plates and stuff like that. So did that. And then another thing that's going to be hard to show and not a huge deal, but I did put her kick panels back in. So they were actually in pretty nice shape. So just reuse those. So that was it for this car. And then what did I do after that? Oh, then, sorry guys, turn my attention to this baby here. So started off by doing like the final adjustment on the front bearings and putting the little sheet metal lock plates on the nuts here. So there's like an inner nut and then a jam nut and a lock plate on these that keep them from potentially coming loose, so you don't lose a wheel going down the road. Anyway, so yeah, I did the final adjustment on those and then went ahead and bolted up the calipers with the shoes in them, or excuse me, the pads in them, of course, and then put in the brake lines and did all the final tightening on all the brake lines and hoses and stuff up front here. I still have to put on the master cylinder reservoir, but other than that, the brakes on this end of the car are all done. And for that matter, the brakes on the back of the car are also done. So that was the other thing I finished up today, was I had to went ahead and made new rear brake lines for this car. So formed new rear brake lines. You see here, the other side looks, of course, just the same. And went ahead and connected those with new brake hoses and new clips and stuff like that. And then went ahead and torqued down the drums, adjusted the brakes. So the brakes on this car are, again, done with the exception of popping the reservoir on the master cylinder. So might do that and go ahead and bleed the brakes on here tomorrow. So that's kind of a big, I always feel like bleeding the brakes is a big step on a car like this. So that should be happening tomorrow. If not, then probably the next day. It's no huge hurry, but I would kind of like to get this car back on the ground just so we can move it if needed and stuff like that. And let's see. Other than that, somehow today I got like 1 million phone calls, which is good. We're busy and we got a lot of people inquiring about bringing their cars in for various things, but sometimes it's hard to get any work done. There's lots of people calling. But again, as a business owner, it's good that our phone is ringing off the hook versus crickets. That would be bad. So I'm not really complaining, just kind of saying that sometimes it makes it hard to keep busy. But again, good problem to have. On this one, Mr. Jacob today, he finished stripping the transmission. He still had to pull off the backing plates and a few other things off it. And then our transmission guy actually came and picked it up. So that's exciting. Transmission for this will be done in probably a few weeks. While he came and brought this transmission, or excuse me, while he came and picked up that transmission, he also dropped off this one, which is basically like essentially a Pro Street transmission. This is for the orange Ghia, which the owner has finalized his motor. He is actually having his motor built by John at Powerhouse, and he's having built a 2332. So very strong engine, not super wild or anything. I don't know what John told him, but based on the specs, I would guess it'd be maybe about 180 horsepower motor and a lot of torque. And so, yeah, good combination here. This has got a super diff, all the Pro Street stuff, welded third and fourth, 388 ring and pinion, which is the strongest ring and pinion, and then an 089 fourth gear. So it should be, with the 089 and the 388, it should be a good combination on the freeway. And that 2332 will have no problem at all pulling that gear combination. Guys should be able to cruise easily, 75 plus miles an hour very comfortably. But anyway, so that's done. And so Jacob, again, got the transmission for this ready for our transmission guy to come and grab. And he did more brake masking and painting off. So these are the front rotors and master cylinder for Big Blue here. Time to start giving Big Blue some love again. And then Jacob went ahead and ta-da, pulled the motor off this baby. So again, the motor on this car seems to be matching numbers. The engine and the chassis serial numbers are within like maybe a few weeks of each other or so. So to me, that's almost for sure that it's numbers matching, although not proof in and of itself. But yeah, super close production dates on the engine and transmission. But anyway, the engine itself is around here somewhere. There it is. So the engine runs great. We are going to do basically like a cosmetic refresh of this motor. So we're going to strip it all down to a long block. And then the case, which sadly somebody painted black at some point, we're going to take care of that. And then we'll go kind of like what Rafa did for the tins on here. We'll go through all the tin, do any metal and body work needed, and have them all powder coated. Intake manifold probably will be ceramic coated. Same probably with the muffler, stuff like that. And one interesting thing about this motor is that those of you that know Volkswagen motors know exactly what I'm about to say. So I don't know if it was the owner or maybe the previous owner. At some point, somebody fit a doghouse oil cooler to this. So normally on a 36 and all the way up until much later than that, for that matter, the oil cooler sat right here in the path of the 3/4 cylinder head. And then later they kind of got smart and moved it over here into its own separate little chamber. But yeah, at some point somebody upgraded this 36 horse to a doghouse style oil cooler. So it's kind of cool. But the funny thing is, well, not funny is probably not the right word, but there's, of course, the fan shroud has like the thing that's called a doghouse that kind of covers this. And then there's this triangular piece that goes down like this. And then normally there's this thing, I don't know, I call it a snorkel, that goes through an opening here that blows the hot air out kind of by the transmission. This motor didn't have, it had the triangle piece, but then it didn't have anything connected to it. So all the hot air coming through the oil cooler was just staying inside the engine compartment. So not really a great setup, because you don't really want to keep recycling that hot air into the intake and then also just back into the fan and then blowing pre-warmed air, through the cooler again and through the cylinder heads. So we'll get this set up right where it's actually like exiting the engine compartment. So just a little thing, but yeah, cosmetic refresh, runs great. No reason really to think that it needs a full rebuild that I'm aware of. So yeah, but anyway, Jacob pulled that out and started disassembling it. So I think he'll be in tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and get this thing stripped down the rest of the way to a long block, and then start addressing this black paint on here and stuff like that. The orange Ghia continued getting its paint stripped. We haven't found any more Bondo other than what we found on that one front passenger side fender. And yeah, so far so good. We did finally find a little bit of rust on that car. I'll maybe try and show you guys that tomorrow. Very small spot up in the front, on the front bottom left of the nose of the car. So far that's it, and a little bit on one of the doors. So maybe I'll try and show you guys those things. But yeah, that car is super dry, super clean, very straight, and very well preserved car. So anyway, I'll try and give you guys an update on that one soon. So for today, everyone, that is it. So thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate it. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.